Madden 22 is just one of those games that isn't very good. I have more fun playing with the disc itself than actually playing the game. Don't worry, to all of you that comment, maybe you should stop buying the game. Guess what? I don't buy the game. I got this copy used on eBay for $15, so eBay did not receive any money from me, and I only got it to make this video. I won't play it after this. Maybe in 5 years I will, if I do like a retrospective on the game. This is the kind of game that makes you want to stick a thumbtack in your eyeball. When you play Madden 22, the gift of life becomes a curse. You will no longer want to be alive. It causes existential dread. Unfortunately for NFL fans, this is all that exists thanks to EA's cringy exclusive license. There are alternatives. I even made a video guide on how to not buy Madden and still have a good time. But most people, you know, the average Joe, they're gonna go get Madden 22 if they watch the NFL. Most parents are going to buy the game for their kid because it's the only NFL game at the store. But like I said, this game is horrible, and in today's video, I'm going to cover everything wrong with the game in 16 minutes. Hopefully you didn't buy it. If you did, at least you can have fun spinning the disc around or making snowflakes with the paper insert. If you bought it digitally, just log off the internet. What's wrong with you? Before we start the video, let's make our picks for week 16 of the NFL season using today's sponsor, Bounty Sports. Of all the fantasy sports websites I've tried, Bounty Sports is my favorite because it's really easy to use and it has a ton of different sports leagues like the NFL, NBA, even boxing. When you sign up with my promo code SOFT5, you get $5 to use for free. There's no strings attached, there's no minimum deposit, it's just free money. With that $5 deposit, you can then enter the NFL Weekly Pick'em contest for free. And who knows, maybe you'll win a cash prize. Alright fellas, let's make our picks. Now that Urban Meyer is gone, I'll take Jacksonville over the Jets. Next we gotta go with the Chargers over Houston, and then this one is kinda hard. Initially I wanted to take Baltimore, but it's a home game for the Bengals, so I'll lean there. Should be a good game. I'll take the Lions in an upset over Atlanta. I think Dan Campbell has the team playing their best right now. I'll take New England to sweep Buffalo, the Rams over the Vikings, the Giants and Jake Fromm, upsetting the Eagles, maybe, I don't know, Bucks over Panthers, Seahawks over Bears, Chiefs over Steelers, Broncos over Raiders, and Dallas over Washington. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about my picks, and go make your picks for free using my promo code SOFT5 to get that $5 deposit, and by clicking the link in the description box below. Thank you to Bounty Sports for sponsoring this video. So here's everything wrong with Madden 22. At least everything I can fit in 16 minutes. I'm sure I missed a lot. It's made by EA. You know, the worst company in the world. Well, one of the worst. It's missing Create a Team, one of the best features from older Maddens and other sports games. It's even in FIFA 22 and NHL 22, both games that are also made by EA. It'll probably come back in the next year or two as EA's new huge feature to sell the game, but come on. This feature was in Madden 04 with Mike Vick on the cover. It should be expected. Some people have argued that it was removed due to the NFL's request, but that's not true and has been debunked many times, including here on my own channel. There's no excuse for such a fun mode to be missing for so many years. We want to create our own team names, uniforms, colors, and more. It's just fun. It's missing Create a Play, you know, another feature from Madden 04. Create a Play was great, you could design any play you wanted, even new formations, and then test them out. While this may cause issues online, why not make it an offline-only feature, or allow commissioners to toggle it on or off in a connected franchise? The creative director of the game just left. That can't be a good sign. Half the dev team just left, reportedly, for the upcoming college football game, yet they will reportedly not be replaced. So Madden's dev team is now smaller than ever. So what we have now is as good as it's going to get. Reportedly, of course. Before going into more missing features from older games, let's talk about the issues within the game as it stands, such as gameplay. Gameplay sucks. This is the only simulation NFL game allowed to exist, yet gameplay is an arcadey mess. For example, X factors are super unrealistic, allowing players to randomly become better after completing a certain number of passes or running for 10 yards multiple times. In real life, could a quarterback randomly gain the ability to throw an extra 20 yards after completing some passes? No. And look, this feature isn't that bad by itself. It's actually a cool mechanic for an arcade-style NFL video game. But when EA holds the exclusive simulation NFL license hostage, I find it fully justifiable to complain when they do everything but make a simulation-style game. X factors are not even close to simulation. They just cover up the fact that EA doesn't know how to make star players feel any different from average players without resorting to cheap tricks. If EA wants to make a more arcade-style NFL game, I'm perfectly okay with that, go for it. But drop the exclusive rights agreement with the NFL so that people who do want a true simulation-style game can actually, I don't know, have one to play, at least give other companies the opportunity to make one if they want to. The exclusive license is probably the #1 thing wrong with Madden. Back to gameplay, passing the ball sucks. You can find the open man, make the correct read, and throw an interception simply because the game wants you to. There is no such thing as realistic ball trajectory. In Madden 20, EA announced that they had fixed ball trajectory, but they lied. Instead, all they did was nerf the jumping of linebackers, which is fine because let's be honest, we all hate seeing a 70 overall linebacker making Odell in his prime-esque one-handed interceptions. But ball trajectory was never fixed, so passes have a super weirdly low arc, resulting in so many interceptions. If your guy is way over the top of the defense and has everyone beat, watch helplessly as your quarterback throws a physically impossible straight line of a pass that gets intercepted or tipped 10 yards down the field. Meanwhile, older football games like All Pro Football 2K8 nailed ball trajectory, a game from 2007. It's very tough to play Madden after being spoiled by an actual football game. Defensive backs have super unrealistic abilities. Throw up a pass to a one-on-one matchup and watch it get intercepted 75% of the time. If a defender's head is turned, watch as they can somehow sense the ball is coming and make a no-look play on the ball. If the game wants you to throw a pick, you will throw a pick. If the game wants you to get sacked, you will get sacked. There is very little user control because this game is 100% over-reliant on animations. It seems like there is nothing physics-based about the gameplay, but instead everything is an animation chain decided by a dice roll. The user, aka you, the player, isn't doing anything. The game is simply showing you what is happening. Playing Madden is like watching a movie. Sure, you can pause it, or better yet, turn it off, but when it's on, you aren't in control. Despite how overpowered defenders may seem, this game is actually way too easy. Deep zones literally don't work, so when you're on offense, you can simply light it up down the seam. When you're on defense, watch as your opponent does the same thing, and every game is a high-scoring mess of cheese. All EA cares about is MUT, aka Madden Ultimate Team, a game mode where the player pays real money for card packs that have a slight chance of giving them a good player. These obviously pay-to-win teams then play each other online. It's everything wrong with modern gaming, and it's the heart of Madden. Because MUT makes EA so much money, along with sales since Madden is the only sim NFL game allowed to exist, they don't have to try, so every other game mode is trash. Gameplay is so broken that EA themselves post pictures of best Madden plays to run on Twitter. Plays should be good versus certain defenses, not just an overall best play. Yet EA basically promotes the fact that their game has cheesy plays the CPU can't stop. This game has no place being a competitive online game, because having control over only 1 out of 11 players at a time on defense is terrible. Terrible! Because of all the exploits and cheese plays. The CPU defense cannot adjust to anything, so you need to constantly be switching defenders and guarding multiple parts of the field over and over just to stop someone from running the same play over and over. Face of the franchise has the worst story ever, the worst acting ever, the worst graphics ever. Gameplay is way too easy, and the entire mode feels like a waste of time, because it is. Compared to the old Superstar modes in older Maddens, Face of the franchise is just really bad. Superstar KO is a dumb, gimmicky game mode they added in Madden 20, because even EA could sense that without something new, their game looked pathetic. Unfortunately for EA, Superstar KO has barely been touched since then, and their game still looks pathetic. The Yard was a cool idea, executed very poorly, with a ton of glitches and no real incentive to play. In fact, the entire game is filled with glitches. Franchise mode, the best game mode in Madden, was completely gutted in Madden 13, and has yet to recover. The current game mode is so bad that it makes Madden 07 on a PlayStation 2 look incredible, like insanely good. Remember, that game is from 2006. It's missing custom team relocation, training camp, contract holdouts, front-loading or back-loading contracts, Speaking of contracts, they're not even accurate, they can't go past 7 years, no compensatory picks given after a player walks in free agency, no restricted free agency, no contract restructuring, no historic teams. Instead, you have historic players hidden behind a paywall in mud. The new scouting update is lame, but definitely an improvement. Now you can assign scouts to regions and get detailed reports on prospects. A nice upgrade from recent Maddens, but it's still just text-based. Compare it to Madden 07, where you could scout players by playing the college all-star game, or you could invite rookies to perform individual workouts and then get detailed scouting reports on them. You know, the new feature in Madden 22? A PS2 game was more advanced than a PS5 game that cost $70. When drafting, you can't see draft results, meaning you can't see a simple list of players taken in order. You have no idea where that player you scouted went. It breaks immersion. I want to see where made-up James McSmith goes. In the game, when another team takes a player, they just vanish until after the draft, where you can go team by team and look at their roster and find out what rookies there are. What's weird is this used to be in Madden as recently as Madden 18. You would think you could at least go all the way to transactions to view the drafted players, but no, they're not even there. Despite adding mock drafts to the game in the scouting update, there's no way after or during the draft to see anything besides your picks or the most recent pick. Just one example of many where EA misses the mark on the simple things. Despite being a next-gen game, loading times take forever. Simulating through a franchise mode takes way too long. It feels like you're playing a game from the PS3 era, but worse. They spend all their money on marketing. Have you seen the Madden Land commercial? That probably cost millions to make. Imagine if they spent that money on developing, I don't know, a better game. The graphics look stupid. The jets have backwards wings. The fans look terminally ill. Players look terrible. Tua warms up with his right hand. Every player model looks the same. Players don't resemble their actual selves. Look at Lamar Jackson in-game versus in real life. Why is he so wide? Typos and errors everywhere. There's no Ultimate Team 2. I mean, they've gone this far with hyper-monetizing the game. Why stop at one Ultimate Team? It's clear EA doesn't care about or even understand franchise mode, so why not replace it with Ultimate Team 2? At this point, EA only really advertised MUT anyway, so just go all in. When going through menus, you get these obnoxious full-screen Madden animations that take forever when I'm just trying to back out of settings. The game has the exact same commentary team since Madden 17. The laziest presentation you'll ever see, still light years behind ESPN NFL 2K5, and it doesn't even resemble an NFL broadcast. It looks like some weird off-brand like XFL broadcast, but somehow even worse than that. It has a super cringy soundtrack. It has no more NFL Films music. Rookies all have the same face presets as always, and you can't use the Player Creator Suite to create players in any mode besides the trash career mode or the art. Wouldn't it make too much sense to let you use that to create draft classes? Or, I don't know, create custom rosters like historic teams? NBA 2K lets you do that. The only rating that matters in gameplay is speed. Run drags with a fast tight end or slants with fast receivers, and if protection holds up, they will be wide open eventually. The CPU zone defense cannot defend anything or adjust to anything, yet the man coverage is destroyed by speedy players. So let's get this straight. Somehow the game has super overpowered defensive backs, but is still super easy if you cheese the game. So don't tell me to get good. I'd probably destroy anyone who says that to me. The game is easy if you play it wrong. Run the same few plays over and over. Honestly, just one play will work, and you can destroy the CPU on all Madden, or the average online play. Play the game realistically, like an actual football game, and you will get destroyed. I have a 2-part documentary with 80 plus features from old Maddens that are no longer present in the game. You can watch that by clicking the top right of the screen. It's probably my best YouTube video. Instead of repeating myself and getting too redundant, watch that if you want to hear more. I have to fit this video within 16 minutes. Madden 22 is a bad game. And despite all of this, people will not only still buy Madden, but some also still defend it. How? It just blows my mind that EA, a massive company that needs no help from anyone, gets away with such an obvious scam. Get the exclusive rights to an incredibly popular brand, Slap brand name on a terrible game. Profit because there's no competition. Repeat every year, introduce addictive microtransactions, and you can make an insane amount of money while doing next to nothing. And there are people out there so dull that they will defend this business practice and financially support it. You people are weak. Actually, never mind, I was kidding. Madden 22 is a great game. Also, it's not that serious. I mean, it sucks, but please don't attack the 3% of people that do enjoy the game. Don't attack the devs on Twitter, even if they are bad devs. Just be a normal person and move on from Madden altogether. Let the game die. Ironic coming from me, I know, but hey, this is my first Madden video in 3 months, so that's progress, right? Let's try and hit 6 months now until the next one. Thanks for watching.